Thank you. I have a very important question for you guys. Who here wants to become a millionaire? Okay, good. I'm talking to the right people. So the way to do that is to invest in yourself. So that's the topic today, about investing in yourself. Now Warren Buffett, do you guys know who Warren Buffett is? One of the richest man on the planet, lives right here in Omaha, Nebraska. He says the best investment you can make, this is a guy worth billions of dollars, the best investment you can make is to invest in yourself. So if he says that, he must know what he's talking about. So I'm going to talk about 4 different topics about investing in yourself. But first, you're probably curious, who am I? So I'm Joey Furman. I grew up right here in Omaha, Nebraska. I then went to the University of Pennsylvania. For those who don't know, the University of Pennsylvania, it's an Ivy League school. It's the best business school in the country, called Wharton Business School. It was founded by Ben Franklin before America was even existed. And some of you may be thinking, but Joey, why are you telling me about this great school? I could never afford to go there. Well, let me tell you a secret. A lot of these top Ivy League schools give you financial aid based on how much money your parents make. So there are people at these Ivy League schools right now whose parents are below the poverty line who are basically going there for free. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't go to one of these top Ivy League schools because you can't afford it. These schools have billions of dollars in their endowment to give you financial aid. So that's that. After Penn, I moved to Florida because I like the beach and the sunshine and the bikinis. So I hung out down there for a few years. I got involved in finance. I worked at Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch. Then I decided to move to New York. I worked there on Wall Street. And then I decided to write a book. This is the first book of its kind. It's called Pirates of Financial Freedom. So this is a financial literacy book in the form of an adventure novel. All right? This book has action, humor, romance, excitement, walking the plank, sword fights. But at the same time, it has how to get out of debt, build your credit score, save for retirement. All those really boring financial skills that people don't generally want to learn about, they're in here, but you're actually going to laugh along the way. Okay, so there are 4 areas that where you can invest in yourself in. And in the spirit of pirates, okay, I call these the building blocks for booty. Okay? Who likes booty? Right? Everybody wants more booty. Okay? Everybody wants more treasure. I don't know what's so funny about that. I'm talking about treasure. Everybody wants more treasure. But there are 4 areas that you need to invest in yourself in. The first is money. You got to invest your money. You got to invest your knowledge. Third, you have to invest in your mindset, which I'll talk about. And fourth, you have to invest in your connections. So let's talk about money. That'll be the first one. You guys got your green shirts on. Think about money. Money is green. So the secret to becoming wealthy is not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save. And some of you may be thinking, that's ridiculous. If I make a lot of money, I'll be wealthy. Well, that's not true. Has anybody heard of MC Hammer?
Yes.
Right? Okay, cool guy. He made $30 million and went bankrupt. Did he have an income problem? No, he made plenty of money. He had a spending problem. He didn't save any of his money. And to demonstrate that, can I get a volunteer to come demonstrate the MC Hammer dance right up here for all the... I saw some hands. Anybody? No? Nobody? All right, fine. Maybe later. So, the point is that it doesn't... Are you going to do it? The MC Hammer dance. You know the MC Hammer dance?
Like that?
Oh, okay. Well, show us what you got.
Like that?
Okay. I like that. That's not exactly. Go ahead and sit down. You can look up on YouTube. Let's give a hand. See, and that's a good point. In order to become wealthy, you have to do things outside the box. Like, I admire him for coming up in front of all these people and doing his cool little dance here. You have to change your habits. You have to do things that make you uncomfortable in order to be successful. And to demonstrate that, let's do a little test. I want everyone to go like this. Okay? And just cross your fingers and put your hands together like this. Okay. You'll see that one of your thumbs is on top. It's either your right thumb or your left thumb. You see? Look at your neighbor. See which one they have, the right or the left. Okay. So, your right thumb, if your right thumb is on top, that means that you're more analytical. Okay? And that you're probably going to become a millionaire. All right? So, okay, now what about your left thumb? Okay, if you'd like to know what your left thumb is, so if your left thumb is on top, that means you're more creative and that you're a really good kisser. So, whichever one that is, I have them. But now I'm going to do something. Okay, you guys have your thumb on top? Switch the thumb. Change the thumb. Okay? How's that feel? It feels weird, right? It feels weird when you change the thumb on top because you guys are used to a certain habit. You're used to having that thumb on top. When you change your habits, things feel weird. It doesn't feel right. But that's what it takes to become successful. You have to do things that are a little different. You have to do things that aren't in your habits. You have to create new habits that are more successful. And it's going to feel weird at first. That's perfectly normal. Okay, so it doesn't take a lot of money to become rich. And you're going to be like, oh, whatever, you're full of it. But it's this idea called compound interest. And now I can either tell you about compound interest, or I can have you guys come up and demonstrate compound interest. So I need 4 volunteers. Somebody that's very energetic and speaks loudly. Okay? Okay, that guy. All right, you again. All right, that's fine. I need... Okay, you? Yeah. And who really wants it? I need...
Me.
You? Okay, come on. All right. So, as I mentioned, from my book, Pirates of Financial Freedom, it demonstrates a lot of these great concepts, okay? Well, one of the concepts is compound interest, and there's a scene in the book that talks about it, and these lucky Hollywood actors are going to act out the scene for you, and what kind of an actor acts out a scene without costume? So, take some props from Pirates. Here's your script. Each one take a script. So go ahead and put these in there. All right. You're going to be Joey. You're going to be Sandy. You're going to be Bill. And you're going to be the old pirate. All right, so they're going to act out a scene here, and they're going to speak very loudly because there's a lot of you guys. So we have Sandy. She's a very independent pirate who doesn't want to rely on any man in her future. Right? She wants to do it all herself. She's a very independent woman. You've got Joey. Which one of you is Joey? I think he is.
Let it be John.
So he's the Wall Street guy, right? He's the mentor. Then you have 2 pirates. They're both about 7 years old. One's the old pirate, one's Bill, and they're going to act out this scene, and we're going to get started here. So I believe Sandy is going to start us off. So speak as loudly as you can.
This is the glove you always wanted. Are you going to buy it?
It's $400.
The word's doubloons.
Doubloons? That's what it is?
Doubloons.
How do you say it?
Doubloons.
Doubloons?
It means money. It's a pirate term for money.
400 doubloons? Huh. This is definitely a want, not a need. Do you know how much 400 doubloons will be worth 30 years from now?
Alright, the old
He be
pirate.
making a good point, you know. That be an important lesson all young people should know.
Why are you saying that?
Take me and my brother here. Me brother be Bill Foley.
Nice to meet you.
I be 71 years young and Bill be 70. Me brother started saving for retirement when he be 25 years old. How much did Bill save?
I save 300 doubloons every month for 15 years. Then when I be turning 40 years old, I stopped because I got divorced. I ain't saved a penny since.
Me, on the other hand, when I was 25, I be focused on partying and blowing me money on whatever I wanted. Hey! The thought never crossed my mind to save since no one told me I should. If I'd known better, I'd have started earlier. What is this? Dude, I finally started saving when I turned 40 years old.
How much did you save?
I've been saving 300 doubloons a month for the past 30 years. Me, brother, and I have been earning about 8% each year on our own.
All right, so I gotta ask y'all a question. So what do you think? Bill saves 300 doubloons every month for 15 years from the age 25 to 40. His brother saves the same amount for 30 years to the age 40 to 70. Raise your hand if you think Bill has more money. Raise your hand if you think his brother has more money.
Raise Bill.
He did not just flip it.
Say Bill.
All right, so let me repeat that. Can you guys hear me okay? So the question is, Bill, who's Bill? Bill,
My name is Phil.
he saved 300 doubloons or $300, but he did it from age 25 to 40. So he only did it for 15 years, from 25 years old to 40 years old. His brother saved the same amount of money, 300 doubloons, for twice as long, for 30 years, from the age of 40 to 70. So Bill, $300 from 25 to 40. His brother, for 30 years, twice as long, from 40 to 70. So, which one has more money? If you think it's Bill, who thinks it's Bill who only saved for 15 years? Okay. Who thinks it's his brother who saved for twice as long? That makes more sense. Okay. So, go ahead and continue. Let's see the answer.
The answer is easy. You'll be saving for twice as long as your brother, Bill, and Bill hasn't saved for any money in 30 years. You'll be having more money.
Let's be finding out. I have 450,000 doubloons today. Bill had, how much do you have? How much do you have?
I be having 1 million doubloons.
So Bill had more.
Really? Is that impossible and are you single?
Gee, what a surprise. What a pirate that is a gold digger. And of course, it's possible. That's the power of command, interest, a magic of starting early.
Now I be working for me, brother Bill. He owns this shop and I still have to work. I wish I'd be starting early like him.
Indeed, the earlier the better. Do you know if you started investing 50 doubloons a month at 13 years old, at 23, you'll have close to 10,000 doubloons. And if you didn't add a penny or more after that, by the time you turn 75 years old, your money could turn into $500,000 doubloons.
Shiva me timbers. I'm gonna tell my 13-year-old niece that when she be old and has all the extra treasures, she can buy me a well-skin coat.
Wow, well, water floats your boat, or should I say pirate ship.
All right, let's give him a hand. Power of compound interest. That may or may not make sense to you, so I'm going to demonstrate it really clearly right now. If you guys start saving $20 a week until you retire, $20 a week, you'll become a millionaire. Okay? $20 a week starting now, because here's the thing. If you start saving money when you're 40, forget about it. Never going to happen. Compound interest, when you start early enough, and I'm assuming about a 9% interest rate, which is actually less than what the stock market's return. But if you save $20 a week for, let's call it 50 years, and doing nothing else, you'll become a millionaire. Okay? That's the power of compound interest, and that's the point I want to make. So where do you get this extra money from? Right? Maybe you don't have an extra $20 a month, or $20 a week. So here's a few ways you can do it. First of all, there's this interesting theory called pay yourself first. Let's say you make $20,000 a year, right? You work hard, you have your money, but at the end of the month, none of your paycheck is left, right? You ran out of money. Well, funny thing is, the same thing happens if you make $100,000 a year, right? You work hard, you have your money. Basically, humans have a tendency to spend all the money that they make. Doesn't matter how much money they make. MCM is a perfect example, okay? Well, what pay yourself first says is that as soon as you get your paycheck, before you pay the bills, before you buy anything, you take a chunk of that money and you put it in your own investment account. The first thing you do. That way you'll, as soon as you get paid, like a 401k is a great example of this. But paying yourself first is basically the easiest and most effective way to make sure that you save your money. Because if you try to save money at the end of the month, you're not going to have any left. So pay yourself as soon as you get paid. The other thing is think delay, okay? A lot of you guys want to go out, once you start making some money, you want to go out and buy stuff right away. And, that's perfectly natural. My point is that I'm not saying you can't buy it, I'm saying think delay. So rather than buying it today, why not buy it a couple months from now after you can afford it better, after you've saved up a little more? So rather than buying it right away, save it for a little bit. And here's a way to think about it. You can either spend $50 on something today and you can own it, or you can take that $50, invest it, and around the time you retire, that $50, that thing you wanted to buy, will be worth $4,000. So next time you buy a $50 thing, say, do I really want this $50 thing today, or would I rather have $4,000 in the future? Just a little mental test that you want to ask yourself whenever you go start to make a purchase. The other thing is, a lot of these personal finance guys will get up and talk to you about, you spend less, you need to save more, blah, blah, blah. And that's perfectly fine. But not enough people talk about, rather than trying to save more, why not try to make more money, right? There's two ways you can become wealthy. You can either spend less and save more, or you can make more money and save the difference. So I want to encourage you, rather than thinking about how can I save more money, also think about how can I make more money, because it'll get you to the same destination and it's a lot more fun to make more money. Okay, I'm going to move on to the next area, which is knowledge. How many of you would like to be as rich as Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg? Anybody? You like to be rich as them? Well, here's some characteristics of each of them. Bill Gates reads a book a week, right? He reads a book every week. Warren Buffett spends 6 hours every day reading, just reading. Mark Zuckerberg declared 2015 the year of books, right? He's reading a book every single week. All these successful people, and it's been studied many times, successful people learn all the time. They don't stop learning as soon as they graduate. They start learning, right? Because the learning you'll do in the real world is a lot more interesting than the learning you'll do in the classroom. But it's learning interesting things. It's learning how to make money. It's learning how to improve yourself. It's learning how to do a cool new skill. It's learning how to get the career of your dreams. So reading is really important. Not a lot of you like to read. And I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't like to read either. Right? If I pick up a book and I'm flipping through the pages, I fall asleep. However, I love audiobooks. Okay? You can put audiobooks right on your phone, and when you're getting up in the morning, you put on an audiobook to whatever goal you have. There's a book on it, right? You're going to become a star, anything, right? There's a book on it, and you can just listen to it. So while you're driving, while you're getting ready in the morning, while you're waiting in line at Chipotle, all that wasted time, put an audiobook in your ear, and you'll become a genius over about a year, okay? Because you'll be reading a book about a week. I read a book about every week or two. And it's stuff that I like to read. These aren't books that your teachers are telling you to read. It's books that you want to learn about. And once you find that those knowledge that you get excited about, books can change your life. And there's all the books out there are boring, right? There's a lot of really cool books that will help you achieve your goals. But not only books, there's also podcasts, there's blogs, there's TV shows, there's YouTube videos. There's all this way to learn in a fun way to help you achieve your goals. So never stop learning. Well, let me rephrase that. If you want to become a millionaire, never stop learning. If you don't care about that, then do whatever you want. Okay? But successful people are always learning. They're always reading. They're always talking to people. Now, on your way to success, there's going to come across a time when you come across a problem. You're like, oh, how do I do this? Like, you're not going to know what to do next. Well, lucky for you guys, whatever problems you guys are going to encounter, somebody else has already encountered those same problems and solved them. And more than likely, there's a blog post about how they did it, there's a book about how they did it, they offer their consulting services on how they do it. Whatever problems you have, there's 300 million people in America. Somebody else has already solved that problem. So all you have to do is go find the answer. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Just look for successful people, copy what they do. Okay? So between Google, books, and gurus, as I say, somebody already has the answer to all your whatever stumbling blocks you're going to come across in the future. So never get discouraged by a problem. Every successful person experiences failure, experiences problems. It's perfectly normal. So don't get discouraged about that. All right, the next thing is mindset. So there's this guy named Earl Nightingale. He's considered the father of the personal self-help industry. And he spent decades looking for studying successful people. He studied all the major philosophies, he studied all the major religions, he read the philosophical books, he talked to successful people, and he determined the secret to success in 6 words. He figured out the secret to success, in his opinion. Does anyone want to guess what the secret to success is? Anybody want to take a guess? Yeah, so real loudly.
Trust in yourself.
Trust in yourself. All right, I like that. Anybody else want to guess what the secret to success is? No? Yeah? What's that? It's not what you know, it's who you know. Right? It's good. Perseverance. Absolutely. Yeah? Knowledge. Super important. Uh-huh. Purpose. That's great. Yeah. Education. Gotta have good education. Uh-huh. Patience. Absolutely. Okay, so did you have one? Needs. Focus on needs. Okay. Yeah. Willpower. These are all fantastic. And we'll do 2 more. So yeah, you.
Don't be afraid to take risks.
Don't be afraid to take risks. Absolutely. Uh-huh.
Well, I was told the minute you give up is the minute you fail.
The minute you give up, the minute you fail. That's awesome. All these are correct. Okay? All these were good answers. But his secret to success is this. You become what you think about. Okay? It doesn't intuitively make sense right away. You become what you think about is his secret to success. So what that basically means is if you're the type of person who's always, you talk to yourself all day long, right? Everyone does it. They just think thoughts. So if you're the type of person who's always like, bad things always happen to me. I'm not smart enough to do this. You say that to yourself several times a day for several years. Guess what? You're just going to believe it, right? So the things you say to yourself, that focus determines your future, right? So your focus controls your destiny. However, if you're the type of person like, okay, I'm going to become successful, I'm going to start looking for ways that I can become successful. And every day you're thinking, all right, how can I do it, how can I do it, how can I do it? Well, that's a super empowering belief, right? Because your mind is always going to be looking for ways to be successful, ways that you can make money. So your focus controls your destiny. And it's just very important. I used to think that whole thing was kind of garbage, the positive thinking stuff. I thought, that doesn't matter. But now that I'm a little older and wiser and I've talked to more successful people, it's really important. So we're going to do a little test later on to see how your mindset is. But a couple other things I want to talk about. So here's one of my favorite quotes. It's in the book a couple times. It's, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. I'm going to say that one more time. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So if you go into someone and say, well, I can't do that, you're right. You can't. Right? But if you go into someone and say, you know what, I can do that, then you're right. Now, it may take you a while in order for you to do it, but eventually, if you have the right attitude, you will be able to do it. And I could tell you 100 stories about how somebody came across, how they were able to. It's true. Just take my word for it. Okay. The other thing is raise your expectations you set for yourself. There's an interesting thing about Americans. They often achieve their goals, right? So, I want to live in this house. I want to get this job. Eventually, they usually achieve it. But unfortunately, they don't set their goals high enough, right? So if you're like, I really want to make $50,000 a year when I grow up, and that's all you think about, I got to make $50,000. Eventually, you're going to make $50,000. It's been shown many times. Why not raise the expectations you set for yourself? Why not say, you know what, I'm going to be the best at whatever, or I'm going to become a millionaire, I'm going to whatever. Whatever your current expectations for yourself are, raise them up because there's no reason not to, and you'll surprise yourself in the amount that you can achieve. So I'm going to read you a few statements, and to yourself, I want you to think yes or no. Very simple. Just think yes or no to these. Okay. There is opportunity all around me. I am smart enough to accomplish whatever I want. I have the ability to overcome any challenge I encounter. The world is full of people who are willing to help me achieve success. I can find the time and money I need to accomplish all my goals. No one can prevent me from succeeding. I like myself, and other people like me too. My past does not equal my future. And finally, I am 100% capable of becoming a multimillionaire. Did y'all answer those questions? If you answered no or maybe to any of those questions, you could use some improvement in your own self-confidence, in your own limiting beliefs. You should be able to answer yes to all these questions. So if you're not, no problem. You guys are still young. But get in the habit of starting to believe these things. And the best way to do that is to find, I'm a Tony Robbins fan, but there's a lot of like gurus out there who can help you, pump you up, and they'll shatter a lot of your limiting beliefs about yourself. So there are a couple people who have done this, so I'm going to talk about it. One of your limiting beliefs right now is that I'm too young to become rich. So let's get rid of that limiting belief right now. This girl named Maddy Bradshaw. Okay, at 10 years old, she was at school, and she wanted something cool to decorate her locker with. So she made this kind of magnetic thing out of bottle caps. So when you pop that metal kind of bottle cap on those old-fashioned Coke bottles? So basically, she did that, put a magnet on it, turned it into a necklace. Okay, pretty simple. Any of you can do this. This is not rocket science. She went to the local retail store and just laid a basket down. I was like, hey, would you mind selling these things? I just want to see if there's a demand for them. Within 2 hours, she sold out of all her snap cap necklaces. Okay? Over the next 5 years, because success takes time, there's no overnight success, but over the next 5 years, she sold $5 million worth of these little necklaces. She then went on to the show Shark Tank. Have you guys heard of Shark Tank? Yes. Shark Tank is probably my favorite show. If you're not watching Shark Tank, you gotta be watching Shark Tank. It's awesome. It's a TV show, so it's on ABC. It's about a show about entrepreneurs, and they pitch their ideas. Definitely watch that. So this is her on Shark Tank, pitching her idea. Now, a lot of people don't get any deals on Shark Tank. She got 3 sharks to invest in her idea. Okay? Dreams do come true. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. Thing, Farrah Gray. Okay? He was born in inner city Chicago, and a month would not go by without someone being shot in his housing project. This was a rough neighborhood. Okay? His parents didn't have any money, and he saw all this violence and sadness around him. So what he did is, at a young age, he determined that he would become self-sufficient. That was his goal. That was his purpose. That's all he focused on. Well, as you might expect, he didn't have a lot, right? He didn't have hardly anything. So he made the most of what he had. What he did is he picked up rocks off the ground, okay, and he painted them. And then he sold them door to door. They used them as bookends, as doorstops, and that's how he made his first $50, selling painted rocks door to door, okay? He must have been a charismatic person, but he was able to do it. He then moved on to make homemade body lotions. He sold those door to door. He then got into several other businesses. Bottom line, by the time he was 14, he was a millionaire. Okay? If this guy can do it, any of you can do it. All right? And what's really interesting about his story is that he credits his childhood of the violence and the sadness of all those struggles he had with his success. He attributed that as a reason because he was successful, because he used that as a motivator. And when you become successful, there's a lot of hard times you're going to come across. You got to be motivated. So that what he saw motivated him to become successful, and it worked. One more. Liz Jackson. She started her company at the age of 25 with $1,500. She got a $1,500 grant. She started her company. She had no advanced education, and she grew it into a multi-million-dollar company all by herself. You're like, okay, her company won many prestigious awards. It's pretty impressive, but that actually happens fairly often, so it's not that impressive. What's interesting, though, is that 2 months after she started her business, she became completely blind. She started this company from nothing, was completely blind the entire time, and turned it into a multi-million-dollar company. When she was asked about her blindness, she said, and I quote, "It's been an advantage. It's been an advantage for building up the business because from a PR point of view, people like to write about me." She attributed her weakness of being blind to the reason for her success. So whatever things are holding you back, it might learn to turn that into a reason to motivate you to become successful. Turn your weaknesses into strengths. Okay, so I want to tell a bad joke real quick. Since we're talking about the future and past again. The past, the present, and the future walk into a bar. It was tense. Thank you. If you don't understand, you can ask your neighbor. Okay. The third area we're going to talk about that you need your money and your mindset. We've also talked about your knowledge. So the fourth area where you need to invest in yourself is your connections. If you've heard this quote, raise your hand. Your network is your net worth. Has anyone heard that before? Yes. A couple people? Not too many. I'm going to repeat it. So what I'd like you to start doing is start going to networking events. Okay, you have all these wonderful people here. Get to know them. You have all these people who are helping you. You have these speakers. Get to know them. Build up your network. Build up your connections, because those people in the future are going to be able to help you in some way. In one way or another. Okay? So here's something that I'm going to challenge you guys to do. And you may think it's weird, but I'm going to tell you it's super powerful. You guys are at an age, you guys are adorable. Okay? I know you don't like to hear that, but you guys have so much potential, and not all of you see it, but you really do. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to find 10 people in Omaha. You don't need to know them, right? Find 10 people who are successful that you admire. Then get on the phone or send them an email and just call them out of the blue and say something along the lines of, you know what, I heard about your success. I really admire you because of X, Y, and Z. I'm a student. I'm trying to become successful myself. Can I take you to coffee and just pick your brain and you can give me some advice on how to become successful? That's all you have to say. Not everyone's going to say yes, but I wouldn't. If you call 10 people, at least 2 or 3 are going to be like, oh, wow, this person is amazing. Like, absolutely, I'd love to take, in fact, I'll buy you dinner, right? Some of these people will be like, you don't have to pay for anything. I challenge you to do that. Try it 10 times, somebody you really admire, and this person could be your mentor for life. No guarantee, but they could be, right? At your age, no one reaches out to these people when you're young, when they're as long as you are. So you want to go there, and you want to try it out.
Me.
The other thing is that it's not only about the connections, but you want to be able to deal with people well, right? You want to be able to understand them, you want to know what their needs and fears are, because it's going to help you relate to them better. So it's interesting, this guy named Warren Buffett, right? When he was in high school, college, he was terrified of speaking in front of people, right? This is the same guy, by the way, I went to his Berkshire Hathaway conference a couple weeks ago. He had 50,000 people watching him on stage, and he spoke like no big deal. Well, in high school and college, that would have never happened because he was terrified of going up to people, and he was very timid. So he took this course by Dale Carnegie, and he doesn't have his diploma on the wall from college or from his master's degree, but he does have the diploma from the Dale Carnegie course on his wall in his office. So, but there's a book called Dale Carnegie that you all should read. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It was written almost 100 years ago, but the stories that it tells are just as true today as it was back then. And Warren Buffett, I quote you, says, the book changed his life. He basically figures that he wouldn't be a billionaire if he hadn't read that book and taken that course. So How to Win Friends and Influence People. You got to read it. It's a good read. So I encourage you to do that. So you have 4 areas that you need to be investing in yourself in. You have money, knowledge, mindset, and connections. Okay. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you have heard similar advice before? Or is this all new? If you've heard similar advice before, go ahead and raise your hand. Okay, a few of you have. That's good. Some of you haven't. Even better. Well, let me tell you, for those who have heard it, it just doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you a little secret that not everyone knows. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. If you have knowledge and you don't do anything with it, it's not going to help you. You're not going to get any power from it. Knowledge is only powerful if you use it, if you apply it. Okay? So if you know that you should be saving money, if you know that you should be thinking positive, if you know that you should be reaching out for connections, but you don't do it, you're not going to become successful. You only become successful if you actually take action. So, in the spirit of taking action, I'm going to tell you how to take action. Because if you don't, you won't be successful. You can think about all these things that you want to do. You can think about all your dreams and your goals. But if you don't do anything about it, you won't achieve it. So, you want to set goals. And you want to set SMART goals. SMART goals is an acronym. SMART stands for specific, measurable, ambitious, realistic, and time-bound. Okay, it's an acronym. Let's give an example. You may have the goal of, I want to be less stressed about money. That's a goal. I want to be less stressed about money, but it's not a SMART goal. A SMART goal would be, I want to pay off $3,000 of credit card debt by the end of the year. You see the difference? The second one is very specific. The first one's very vague. The second one has a deadline. The second one is just like, I want to be less stressed about money, and there's no deadline. So specific, measurable, ambitious, realistic, and time-bound. So those are the types of goals you want to set. So you want to set this big goal. Think about where you want to be in a year. All right, think about that. Set that as your goal. And now, thinking about that, like that big goal from a year from now, is intimidating. You're like, oh man, how can I do that? Like it's so big. So what you want to do is you want to chunk it down into little bite-sized pieces, and you want to set weekly, smaller goals. So if you have this big goal, what's the first thing you need to do to accomplish that goal? Maybe it's make a phone call. Maybe it's pick up a book. Maybe it's do some research on the internet. Whatever that little first piece is, set that as, all right, this week that's my one goal. You accomplish it, you're like, okay, cool. Now you move on to the next step. So you, rather than focus on this big goal all the time, chunk it down to little weekly goals and take action every single week. And eventually, I promise you, you will achieve your goal, no matter what it is. As long as it's realistic. Because realistic is, well, the R in the SMART goal. But as I said, raise your expectations. You can achieve just about anything. It just takes a lot of time and hard work. Okay, it's not going to happen overnight. The other thing you want to think about is getting an accountability partner. So I have an accountability partner. What this basically says is every week you talk to your accountability partner, you guys set goals together, and then the next week you talk again and say, did you do the things that you said you're going to do? And if you don't, well, then they kind of scold you a little bit. This is a way to use peer pressure to your advantage, right? If you go around and tell, if later on today or sometime you guys come up here and you say your goal of like, I want to do X, Y, Z in front of all these people, and then these people come up to you a few weeks later, you're like, oh yeah, how'd that goal go? And you're like, oh, I gave up on it, I didn't do anything about it. You're going to feel kind of foolish, right? So use peer pressure to your advantage. Have your peers pressure you to achieve your goals, and once you have that accountability partner, it'll help you achieve success faster. Because everyone wants to be more successful faster. An accountability partner and setting goals is going to help you become more successful faster. So I'm going to reveal to you my success formula. There's a formula. I'm going to tell you that. So I need 4 volunteers. Okay? Yep. Yep. Yes. And you. All right, so you guys 4 coming up. I'm going to give them 4 sheets of paper, and they're not going to show them to you. You're going to keep them secret. And I need 1 more person to traverse the path. Okay, you got it. Come on up here. Okay, so you're going to listen to you. Don't show it. Don't show it to anybody. Secret? Okay. All right. What's your name? Devontae? Okay. Devontae here, he's going to walk the path of success, or what people generally consider the path to success. You guys ready? So the first step is, great reveal. Go ahead and show it. Set a goal. All right, great. So you set a goal, and you move on to the second step, which is put a plan together. Perfect. You put a plan together, and then you work hard executing the plan. Terrific. And then you achieve, actually you don't. I'm sorry, you got to correct me. Go ahead and turn that around. People think that if you set a goal, put a plan together, and execute the plan, and work hard at it, you're going to achieve success. But there's actually 2 other steps that people forget to mention. So I need 2 more volunteers. Okay, you? Yeah? And should we pressure this guy to come on up here? Do it! Let's give him a round of applause. Here we go. What's your name? Gerardo. Perfect. All right, so you are going to hold that, and don't turn it around. And don't turn it around yet. So turn yours all around. This is the real path to success. You ready? Are you ready to become successful? Perfect. All right, so you take the first step, which is set a goal. You take the next step, put a plan together. You take the next step, work hard executing the plan. Next step is, oh, you failed. Oh, that's unfortunate. So you take the next step, which is you revise the plan, and then you come back. So you set the new plan, and you work hard you put your new plan together. You work hard. You fail again. You revise your plan, then you do it again. So you put a new plan together. You work hard executing it, and you failed that plan too. And you revise it, and then you start all over again. Do you see a pattern here?
Yep.
You think you're going to achieve success on your first try? No. You're going to fail over and over and over again. So go ahead and walk in a circle for a while. And so the question is, how do you get out of this loop faster? Everyone wants to get out of this loop faster. And so here's how you do it. Here's the interesting thing. If you want to achieve success more quickly, fail faster. Okay? Guess what? You're going to fail, so you might as well do it more quickly. What a lot of people do is they fail, and then they feel all bad about themselves, they're so depressed, and then it takes them another year to try again. Don't do that. Get back on the horse, fail again, keep failing, and eventually, if you do this long enough, you're eventually going to achieve success. Let's have a hand. Let's give our participants a big round of applause. Okay, so that's how you achieve success. You're going to fail, so you might as well just do it. Start setting goals, start taking action, start failing today, okay? Because the quicker you get through that process, the happier you'll be, the more successful you'll be, okay? So, in the spirit of taking action, I want you guys to volunteer and tell me this. What is one action you can take right now, today or this week, that can take you on the path to your financial goals? And to encourage you to answer this question, I have some gold chocolate coins to give to anyone who answers it. So what's one step you can take right now in order to start achieving success? Yes, sir.
Save.
Save. Start saving. Perfect. Yeah. What's that? Make a goal. I like it. Go get some art materials. Is that your goal? Okay, very good. Yep. Everyone be quiet. I want to hear these goals now. What's that? Become involved in activities that interest you. Terrific. Let's go over here. Yeah? Be prepared to fail. That's what's yours. Make a plan? Absolutely. And you, sir?
Hey, Girly.
Get a positive role model. I like that. Yep. Quiet down, everybody. I want to hear these goals. What's that? Talk to people about your goals. I like that. All right, I'm going to come over to the other side now. So they get some love on the way. Anybody over here? Yes. Revise. Well, first you have to make a plan, then you can revise it. Yes. After failing. Yes. Yes, sir. Put a chart together. What do you mean by that? Okay, map out a plan. Put a chart. I like it. Perfect. Yes? Read books. Start reading books. Yeah, change what you're doing? Okay, great. What's that? Start failing. Okay, perfect. Yes? Do what scares you the most. That might be the path you have to take. Absolutely. Yes, sir. I like that. Say that one again out loud. Call 10 successful people you look up to and invite them to coffee. How'd you hear that? That's a great idea. Yes. Invest. Start investing. Absolutely. You can come on that one. Yeah. Mentally prepare yourself for failure. Absolutely. Yes. Take risk. Absolutely. Yes. Be determined. I like that. Yep. Try new things. Yes, you. Get to know more people. Absolutely. Yes? Be positive.
You got a business card?
Raise your expectations. I like that. That's good advice. Where do you got that from? A couple in the back. Yeah, you? Say that again. Oh, everyone be quiet. I'm trying to hear. Embrace curiosity. Can you catch? More importantly, can I throw? Let's see. Nice. Very good. One more. Be quiet now. That's it. Say that one more time. Look for people who you think live a successful life. All right, let's see if I can do it again. Almost. Okay, so what I want you to do is actually start taking action.